Welcome to episode 7, chapter 3, Cosmology in CaoDai, part 2. We have seen in the last episode that God is omnipresent, present everywhere, anytime, omniscient, knows everything, and omnipotent, all-powerful. We saw also that God is perceived by diverse religions as the nothingness, the light, the word. Today we will explore the conception of God in CaoDai.
The CaoDai conceives God, Đức Trí Tôn, in two aspects, the personal, Hữu, Nhà, and the impersonal, Vô, Nhà. Invisible, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient God. We will first address the impersonal God. CaoDai believes that God is an initial great sacred light appearing in the cosmic ether, which science calls the quantum field, also known as the primordial chaos. We will read from CaoDai Great Way, the Grand Cycle of Esoteric Teaching, CDGW-GCET 2015, page 244. Corresponding to Dai Tu Gong Yao, DTCG 2000, page 216. Please see above section 1, the cosmic ether and the appearance of God. Prior to the manifestation of the Supreme Being, that space was an amorphous and infinite nebula because it was in the primordial chaos. That space is the non-being or the absolute emptiness. This massive ball of light exploded with an extraordinary detonation. That divine light is the Supreme Being of the universe, emerging from the absolute emptiness, the non-being. Another passage in CaoDai scripture says, "The cosmic ether created only me." So who created these religion founders? It was me, the Tao. You must understand this. If I do not exist, there will be nothing in the universe. And if there are no cosmic ether, then I would not exist either. TNHT, 1992, page 28. It was into this cosmic ether that the great source of divine light appeared, called Tai Kuk, monad, the Jaitung, or the Supreme Being, God, the sacred light. The monad then created Yin and Yang, the two opposite logos, Am Quang, Yin Energy, and Dung Quang, Yang Energy. Yin is heavy, dark, cold, dense, negative, inactive, while Yang is clear, bright, warm, pure, positive, and active. Yin and Yang interact with each other to form the heavens and the universe. Another passage describes light, Yin and Yang, and the eye used to represent God in CaoDai as follows. The heart manifests at the eye. Presiding over everything are two sources of life, a light. Light is spirit. Spirit is God. The two sources of light are Yin and Yang, energies corresponding to electrons and protons.
From the collection of selected CaoDai Holy Messages 2015, page 22 and 32. Thus, the conception of God as light is common in religions through the ages, and the word enlightened describes the person who attains cosmic consciousness, attains union with God. CaoDai holds that the Supreme Being is the great sacred light or energy, and human beings are the little sacred lights. In every human being, there's a light of God inside, which is commonly called conscience. When we become one with God, we become enlightened. The whole body becomes full of light. When the Gautama Buddha became enlightened, every cell of his whole body became bright like a source of light. When Saint Paul became enlightened, he felt like he was in the middle of a great fire, but there was no fire around him, and he heard the voice of God. The same thing happened with Jesus. The Supreme Being pervaded the cosmic ether or Belima, the Sunyata, the nothingness. The Supreme Being is therefore called by various names by various religions: the nothingness, the void, the light, the sacred light, the Almighty, the wisdom, the truth, the world, the monad, the Dailing Wang. As each one of us is granted a spark of God's sacred light, which consciousness is commonly called conscience, with cultivation of that conscience, we may discover and become one with the great sacred light or become enlightened. A major fundamental CaoDai teaching professes that Thầy là các con là Thầy. I, your master, am you, and you, my children, are me. This teaching denotes the immanent aspect of Đức Chí Tôn. His omnipresence and omnipotence are depicted in the following message from the collection of selected CaoDai Holy Messages, page 35. Nhiên Đăng Dipankara Buddha is me. Sakyamuni Gautama Buddha is me. Thái Thượng Quân Thủy, previous incarnation of Lao Tse, is me, with CaoDai. Buddha God, God Buddha, and me. Although different, all branches belong to one same trunk. Buddhism, Taoism, Christianity are in my hands. Because of love, I come to save humanity for the third time. Following are excerpts from the Thánh Ngôn Hiệp Tuyển, 1972, page 170, correspond to CSCD HM 2015, page 234, which describe the omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence, and immanence of God.
I have told you that when there was nothing in the universe, the cosmic ether gave birth only to me, and my throne is the universal monad. I divided the monad into the dyad, which is yin and yang, and then into the tetrad, and then into the 8 trigrams. The latter changes continuously to form the universe. I then divided my spirit to create tens of thousands of things, from elements to finally living beings, plants, insects, animals, and humans. You should understand that everything emanates out of my spirit. Wherever there is life, there I am. I am the progenitor of life. My love of life is unfathomable. Life is given freely to all living beings out of my being. I distribute life everywhere in the universe. Life erupts like a flower from a tree. It develops from a bud into bloom and evolves to form fruits that seeds more trees, 80 infinitum. If someone cuts that flower, the fruit of life is interrupted and future evolution is prevented.
CaoDai theology sees Đức Chí Tôn, or the Supreme Being, both as an impersonal, invisible, omniscient, omnipotent, permanent force as described above, as well as a personal Thầy. Thầy, T-H-A-Y in Vietnamese, is used to address to both the father or teacher or master who nurtures, educates, extends an immense love to his student called con or child. The appellation of Thầy connotes a loving, affectionate relationship between father and child, and that one between teacher and student. The CaoDais come to their Thầy for support, encouragement, confidence, consolation, guidance in their daily life. He or she also fears his reprimand and therefore tries to behave, as he or she also believes in the invisible, all-knowing God. Here we can see the overlapping of the personal and the impersonal God. Any punitive aspect is attributed to a cause and effect phenomenon of karma which originates from the person, him or herself. What we learn from the above is that there should be a supreme force at the center of our life. We may discover that supreme force, that cosmic principle, most commonly by the following 4 ways. First, observing closely his creations, as mentioned earlier, and the natural order of the universe in larger scale, and near our own body in the smaller scale. 2, by reading through the multitude of scriptures which are given. 3, hearing testimonies from our fellow human beings. And 4, mostly by cultivating an intuitive personal connection with the divine through our meditative states. CaoDai is at the same time monotheistic, believing in one God, panentheistic, as the Kitong God is immanent in all, but also above and greater than all. Nevertheless, CaoDai scriptures describe that the immanence of God exists in all from materials, plants and animals, and humans. Thus, animism also constitutes an aspect of CaoDai theology. We shall stop here. At next episode, we will learn about the divine eye and the mother goddess. Thank you for listening.